Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my co-pilots. I've got Green Bean to my this way, and I've got Matt O'Leary to my that way. Green Bean, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I love the smoke screen that everybody's chewing on this week. It's good. I like it. I think it's fun. Why go into the week thinking we know stuff? Let's just have a million questions and fight with each other about it. In typical Jet fan fashion. I'm in.
Matt, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. I get to see you guys in less than a week. I get to see our Jet fans brethren at the stadium in just 5 days. Doesn't get any better than that.
I love it. I love it. Boys and girls, as you hop into the stream, make sure you hit that like button. We're going to select two people. Or you know what? Yeah, we'll select two people, but you got to hang around to the end. I have a fantasy football league that I'm going to be running, and two people are going to be getting into the league. So we'll do some qualifiers throughout the stream. Green Bean, actually, I guess I shouldn't do that because then we might pick someone who's not actively participating.
What do you want me to do, boss?
I don't know. Let me ponder it a little bit. We'll give away a shirt, but I got two spots open in my fantasy football league that I am possibly opening it up to. It was going to go to the first class and frequent flyer tiers of my channel. So if you guys are hanging out in here and you want to get into the fantasy league, if you're a first class member or a frequent flyer, there's a post on my community page to get into it. It's on Sleeper. There's 2 slots left open in a 12-man league. If you want to get in, totally free, but got to do it first. But before we move into everything, we got to pay a little bit of bills. So, fellas, fantasy football draft season is right around the corner. CeeDee Lamb is good, but have you seen these beautiful balls? It's time to get your snake. Whoop. Making a selection in the middle of an ad read. Always fun. Let's reset the clock. Fellas, fantasy football draft season is right around the corner. CeeDee Lamb is good, but have you seen these beautiful balls? It's time to get your snake looking right for this snake draft with the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have created a championship lineup with their Performance Package 4.0. Join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for kickoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with code JETSTALK. Promo code's up in the top corner if you feel like taking care of your bush. But yeah, thank you so much for sponsoring the channel, Manscaped. So yeah, we got a little bit of news going on as far as Zach Wilson potentially starting week 1. There's all this smoke around, like he's starting to practice, he's going through walkthroughs, things of that nature. Should he start week 1? I have a poll question up in the live chat. We have almost 200 votes. 45% say yes, 55% say no right now. Green Bean, I want to hear your thoughts on this first.
Well, I'm a firm believer in Zach as the starting quarterback. He's our starting quarterback. But I am also a firm believer that walkthroughs and things like that, that's not full practice. And I don't want to see him go into the game at 75%, little bit gimpy, something happens, and then we lose him for 6 weeks. Like I have zero interest in that. You know what I wish, Ryan? I wish we could go back to the Parcells days. When Parcells, if you had like an ankle issue, you had a knee, and you're like, I'm good, coach, he would walk by and just kick you a little bit. He'd watch your reaction. If you go, ooh, and you go, you're not ready. And you remember what he did to Glenn Foley? Glenn Foley, the quarterback in 1998, was terrified that he was going to lose his job to Vinny Testaverde, which ultimately, of course, he did. And he said that he was ready. He was practicing, and Bill Parcells came up and said, hey, buddy, and gave him a big old-fashioned Parcellsian hug. And Glenn Foley doubled over in pain, and he said, sorry, you're not ready. Now, I wish we could do some of that stuff and see what's really going on. But here's my thought. I think we have a rare opportunity for the Flacco revenge game. If Zach's 100% and he's practicing with the team and he looks sharp and he looks good and he can do all his mobile things, fine. If not, I see no reason to push it. I would go with the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks of practice that we've been heading toward, and I think let's not rush it. We have a particular backup quarterback who might just be uber motivated for this particular game, so I don't see any reason to rush it. I would say no, unless he's a hunch.
I love it. DeJesus drops in and says, Zach starting, so you're saying there's a chance. Cue the Dumb and Dumber clip. Matt, I want to hear your thoughts. Should Zach Wilson start week 1?
I think Mike White should start.
Twist.
Talk about a bad take. Jesus.
No. I think, look, if in all seriousness, I think if he is healthy and able to practice tomorrow and the rest of the week, then yes. If he is just doing another workout tomorrow like he did on Monday and Tuesday, then no. You go with Joe Flacco, and that's fine. I really think to me, it sounds like worst case scenario, week 2 return for Zach Wilson, because if he's back and doing these workouts now, optimistically, he plays on Sunday. Again, worst case scenario, I think you see him against Cleveland at that point, give him a little bit of the extra rest. But I think it really comes down to if he's able to practice or not tomorrow. And I've seen a lot of like weird rebuttals to that take, and where it was like, hey, like, what about all off season long when he threw to the wide receivers and OTAs and training camps before the injury? But I think anyone, even a seasoned veteran, would be a little bit rusty after missing a month and not really taking football snaps and having practices for a month. So I don't think it would be wise for the Jets to, I don't know, have him maybe go one day out there and do a walkthrough and then go, okay, let's throw you into a live game. So I think it's really dependent on what happens tomorrow. So unfortunately, a little bit more of a waiting game.
Yeah. At least it sounds optimistic, Matt, right?
I'm sorry, Ryan. Just on that, like, now if he was a 10-year vet, different story. Maybe different story. You know, he's like a young buck. It's like, you know, this, like you said, like that month off is serious. Like, let's make sure he's got all his wheels on before we send him down the damn hill.
Yeah, 100%. I do get the feeling he's probably starting week 2 at this point. The more and more positive, stuff we hear from Salah and the little rumors that are coming out, I think that's where it's starting to trend. I thought for sure it was going to be the Bengal game if it was not week 1. And there's part of me that kind of wants to see this offensive line gel together a little bit before we put our recently injured quarterback behind the line. That to me seems a little bit scary. I don't know. Do you guys have any concerns about the offensive line? Green Bean, I'll throw that one over to you first.
I do. Can you believe it? I am concerned about the offensive line who, sadly, just like last year, it's like they've almost never played together. Like we saw a little bit, I believe, right? Didn't Dwayne Brown play against the Giants? I think he did. And it's like, look, I think we saw last year, it took our offensive line 6 weeks or whatever it was to kind of get together. The good news is Fant, Tomlinson, McGovern, AVT, they're all in the system. Now we moved guys over to the right, so there's that. But I'm a little concerned. I think the good news, though, is that we have pros on the line. Like, so we have guys like Fant and AVT and McGovern second year in this system, on this team. Then you get Pro Bowlers, LaDainian Tomlinson and Dwayne Brown, that can come in and actually, they're pros, man. They've been doing this for a while. They've both played at a Pro Bowl level as recently as last year. But I'm concerned. I saw what they did with the re-signing of Connor McDermott. It makes me think that they had some plans. They were working on something. They cleared $12 million of space. They only left one guy, Max Mitchell, as the backup. Seemed like they were maybe working on something and it didn't work. That's what it seems like to me. Obviously, I'm making that up. I don't have any proof, but that's what it feels like. And I think Connor McDermott was signed because it's like, hey, man, we might have some issues this week. And God forbid Fant or Dwayne Brown go down. We're in trouble. We got Max Mitchell and now Connor McDermott to come back in. But yeah, I'm confident, Ryan, but I am concerned, nervous.
Yeah, I would say I was talking with Tigo last night, talking Jets with Tigo. And he was saying his mindset was like, hey, here's what's going to happen. Bam Knight is going to wind up making the 53-man roster. They're going to roll it all the way to Monday, and then they're going to cut him after other teams have set their rosters because they think he has a better shot at making our practice squad, cutting him now, and then you bring back Connor McDermott. So he thinks this was all part of the plan, sort of like what Green Bean's saying as far as like they had a plan in place. Like now we have about $10 million in salary cap space. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Matt, you concerned about the offensive line or anything like that?
Not a major concern. I know they haven't got a ton of reps, especially in-game reps, which is why they played the final game of the year a little bit with that offensive line. But, overall, I think they're going to be drastically improved. When you bring in a guy like Lincoln Tomlinson at left guard, I think the guard duo is going to be the other side, and Dwayne Brown coming in late. Maybe you get a small issue at tackle right away initially, but overall, I think this line is on paper much better than what it was last year. And, especially at the start of last year, I know they had Mekhi Becton, but we know just how bad Connor McGovern was at the beginning of last year. Hate to say it like that, but that was the reality. So I think they'll be okay in the long run. It might be a tough game or two, but it's not enough for me to say, all right, I don't want to start Zach Wilson because there's a slight chance that he gets banged up behind the offensive line that's, still trying to gel. But yeah, it might be something that we notice the first week or two.
AZ Jets comes in, says, minus offensive tackle and free safety depth, I'm very happy with this roster. I think it's a much improved roster from last year, and you can't fix everything all in one offseason. Man, I'm just getting alerts up the wazoo right now. I've got a fantasy draft on this computer going in 10 minutes, and I got one that's currently going right now. Someone's screwing with me. They just took Breece Hall just before my pick, the jerks. I knew it, too. I'm looking at him like, he's not going to make it to me. Someone's going to do it. Someone did it. So minus offensive tackle and free safety, I like the depth on this team. Yeah, I would say I do. I mean, linebacker I feel like is thin. I'm not confident future-wise, but for this year, I'm all right. Like I like Quan Alexander. I like CJ Mosley. Quincy Williams, that whole crew. Greenby, are you concerned with any other positions outside of tackle and free safety?
Well, let me, the linebacker thing is interesting because I did, and you guys know this, I went into the draft concerned about linebacker. I went into training camp concerned about linebacker. But I have to admit, I was delighted with Jamien Sherwood and how he looked in the preseason. And I am having little tiny mini fantasies of Jamien Sherwood actually being an NFL quality player. Very similar to, I don't know if you guys remember, we had Jonathan Vilma, and, Herm Edwards drafted Jonathan Vilma. Mangini came in. He really wasn't a fit for the defense, but he was still Jonathan Vilma, and he's running around. And then we just, in the second round, we took a flyer on David Harris, and he came in. Vilma got hurt, and David Harris came in, and nobody expected much. And he just thumped up the entire world. He was like a friggin' animal. I'm having little mini feelings like about Sherwood. Now, they're different players, so it won't mimic it. But I think I might be more confident in linebacker than I have been all offseason. I love CJ Mosley. I love that he was willing to rework his contract. I love that they named him captain again. He's the leader, man. And he's here, and he's an emotional leader, and he leads on the field. And then you add Quan Alexander and Jamien Sherwood, and then obviously Quincy Williams as well. And I feel pretty good. So safety and tackle are kind of my concerns in addition to quarterback. Can you imagine that? I'm a little worried about quarterback. I don't know if I'm alone on this island, but I'm worried about quarterback, and tackle and safety is kind of it. I feel pretty good too. This is the closest we've been to full strength since 2015, guys, 7 years. This is the closest we've been to actually showing up to week one with the team we made. And I'm pretty happy about that.
Matt Zizelman says, I think Jets defensive line is going to be top 5 in the league. Tell me I'm wrong. Dude, I just hope we're top 15, top 10, because our defensive line just has so much promise. And last year we just got run we had the ball run down our throats, and it was just so demoralizing. But I think now that you see we have the secondary help, I think now that you see we have a little more power up front, I think the Jets will be able to stop some of that running game woes and some of the screen game woes. And this defensive line, if we can get them into favorable downs and distances, we're going to be able to let them pin their ears back. And I think part of that is having the offense have so much success. If the offense can score some points where the other team's offense now has to throw, they're not relying on the run. I think that might be our best bet heading into the season, because I want to see these edge rushers go for blood. Michael Clemens put Tyrod Taylor in a goddamn body bag.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that. I want Lamar Jackson to come out running, and I want him to get hit so damn hard he doesn't want to take the next snap. That's what I want to see happen. Matt, your thoughts on the Jets' defensive line potentially being top 5 in the league?
I mean, if everything clicks, it could happen. You need everything to break right for them to be in the top 5. Everyone has to reach their ceiling. Carl Lawson has to be that 10-plus sack guy. Quentin Williams finally has to step up. And John Franklin Myers has to do what he does, as well as the other depth guys. But I really like this defensive line. I think it's going to be a strength. I think top 5's probably a little optimistic, but I think top half of the league is a definite and pushing top 10.
Greenby, what about you? Top 5 defensive line?
Well, in what way? Like, are we a pass rushing defensive line? Are we the typical Jets thing, the top 5 rushing defense in the league, but they're throwing the ball for 480 every week? Or like, what are we looking at? Now, I think that they're going to be very good pass rushing. Now, if teams can exploit that hair on fire thing that Ulbricht has going, and our linebackers and safeties can't stop the screens and the running plays and obviously the tight ends and shit, then it doesn't matter what our defensive line does. I mean, we have to figure out a way to mitigate the exploitation of our aggressive defense. And I'm really hoping that we figured that out. That said, what I can say is I really like the talent. I really like the attention paid to the defensive line. I think I like every guy on our defensive line too deep. Like, I like Nathan Shepard is probably at the bottom. He's the guy I scratch my head a little bit with why he's still here. But everybody else, man, I like our defensive line too deep. 3 years ago, our second strings are better than our starters of a couple years ago. And that's what's so exciting. Again, top 5, I'm with Matt. Like, that seems like a little far, but we have to figure out how to backfill the aggressive nature of our defensive line. If we can do that, they're going to feast.
Kevin C. says, smells like Saleh trying to keep the Ravens guessing. It's a huge risk for Saleh to put Wilson out there week 1. Imagine the heat if he gets Wilson hurt. Yeah, I mean, I think that's an issue. I just don't think he's going to have enough practice time to make it worth it. Like, Flacco's been practicing the last 2-3 weeks. I think it's probably a good idea to let him have the revenge game. Let him learn behind this let him play behind this offensive line, so that way Zach can kind of sit down. Do you think there's any shot that maybe Zach sits up in the booth if he doesn't play? Because we saw him up there in a few preseason games. I wonder if he would be next to LaFleur, maybe trying to diagnose a little bit more of what's going on. Be interesting to see. Green Bean, your thoughts?
Well, would you put Zach at, like, let's say hypothetically, Zach Wilson's at like 80%, and they're just like you said, they're just going to give him the extra week, and he's going to start against the Cleveland Brissetts, right? We're going to do that. Would he be the backup? You know what I mean? Like, would they, like, we don't have the confidence in you starting, but if Flacco plays half the game, something happens, like, we do feel confident. Like, I don't know if they're just going to make him a scratch and bring Mike White up, for the, up to number 2. I think it would be interesting. Yeah, why not? Why not stick him up there? He's been hanging out up there. But I don't know. I was thinking maybe he would be the second string if he didn't start. Maybe I'm off on that one. What do you think?
No, I don't think you even activate him if he's 80% and he's like the backup. I don't think there's any situation where he's the backup. I would either start him or it's Mike White as the backup. Matt, what are your thoughts on the
100%? It's either he plays or isn't dressed. Like, there's no in between there. I don't like that idea at all. It kind of reminds me of when was it? A couple of years ago with the in the game against the Broncos, where remember like Mekhi Becton wasn't healthy enough to play, and then they had him as a backup, and then there was an injury, and then they put him in, and then he got banged up again. Like that was such an ass backwards way of doing it. I don't want the Jets to be in a situation like that.
Do you think we should put him up in the booth?
I'm intrigued by that. I see both sides, to be honest with you. Like him sitting next to LaFleur is really cool, but I also think there's value of him being on the sidelines and talking with Flacco after he comes off after each series too. So I'm okay with either. I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other on it.
V-Man drops in, says, I think it tossed up with the quarterback situation. Can't wait to meet you guys on Sunday. By the way, Matt, you're right. Coke Zero is Blech. Best Coke
Great.
is that Mexican Coke with sugar? Is that what that's supposed to be? Mexi Coke?
Yep.
Huh. Never heard
Yeah,
of
I
that.
had a bad a bad experience today.
Really?
Yeah.
Story
I
time.
did, yeah. So I was off today, so I was out running some errands, and I went to our local Moe's, relatively local, Moe's in Oceanside, and I was like, oh, well, I did my order, and then I said, all right, let me grab a drink out of the fridge, and I was kind of in a rush, and I just reached in, I saw a red bottle, and I'm like assuming I got Coke. Well, apparently Coke Zero is no longer in a black label with the black cap. It is in a red label, red cap, black writing, which I feel like is way too close to the original Coke, which I was hoping to get. So I got a Coke Zero, and on the first sip, I was like, something seems a little bit off. And then I looked at the label. I was like, oh, that's why. And it was grotesque. Not a fan. Bad experience. 0 out of 10. I really don't like diet soda. I'm not like a big soda guy. It's not like people in my comments were like, you're going to get fat. It's not like I'm guzzling down 99 gallons of regular Coke a day. I would like, I went out for a lunch and picked up a liter of, not a liter, whatever the hell it is.
Liter of cola.
What I thought was Coke. Yeah. So yeah, it's trash, and everyone in my comments who's defending Coke Zero is also trash. And I don't think, I think you should unfollow and block. How about that? I think is that a strong enough stance?
Yeah, right. Isn't it funny though? Look at how I'm looking at the comments now, and it's on both sides. One's trash, one's trash, or the other one's trash. It's like, how about this? Can we reframe our answer and go, I don't like Coke Zero. I prefer Coca-Cola. Or vice versa. Yeah. I don't like Coca-Cola. I prefer Diet Coke. Why does the one that I don't like have to be trash? And therefore, anybody who likes it is trash as well by default. Your mother's ugly. That's what it boils down to. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I don't like it. That's it.
No,
I don't like it.
I know. I tried to make I was trying to make a joke on Twitter, like 0 out of 10. I don't know. I thought I was just trying to, it was a funny experience. I thought I got one thing, I didn't get it, and who knows? People were all up in arms.
People get mad.
Listen, Coke Zero, they have a very niche audience who goes in online. So I'm not one of their fans, but they got a pretty big bunch of guys. That's for sure.
So what's your favorite soda? If you had to pick a soda, you go in, you're hoping to have lunch. What's the soda of choice? Matt, you first.
I don't know. That's such a tough question for me. I probably would go with either a regular Coke or even I know this is very controversial, but I like Pepsi too. I know people are very you either have to like Coke or you have to like Pepsi. God forbid you like both.
Yeah.
Pepsi for me is exactly. Pepsi for me is very nostalgic because at Shea Stadium when I was a kid, they only had Pepsi products. So it felt like anytime I had a Pepsi, it was like it would bring me to being a young kid at a Mets game. So that's why I have that nostalgic love for it. But I don't know. Give me a regular old Coca-Cola, I guess.
Green Bean, what's your soda of choice if you had to pick one?
You want to hear what it is, you bunch of animals? My favorite soda is Diet Coke. I can't drink regular Coke because it tastes like syrup to me. So there you go. Am I an asshole now? Am I fucking, if I need to get thrown off a bridge? It's like,
we're not friends anymore.
We're not friends. It's like, hey, we didn't beat Ryan up when he told us that Burger King fries were the best at a McDonald's. We're still
Oh,
friends.
not the best. I said better than McDonald's, and that was a mistake. I had them recently. I had to text these guys on the side, like, guys, you know when you're wrong about something? That happened. I was wrong. But you know what doesn't suck? Well, hold on. I'll tell you that first off, I really like Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper would be my soda of
That's a
choice.
good one, too.
That's my, if I had to pick one. But what doesn't suck is sauce. Sauce is pretty good.
Ooh,
Very tasty.
Yeah, I'm really.
I still have to
curious,
try
man.
it.
Yeah, it's not like
yeah.
it's so they told me it was a combination of barbecue sauce and 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐢𝐛𝐬 was the name. So if you want to make it at home, you can, I guess, do that.
Well, we got to support our boy. Can we? Order
Yeah,
it,
I
Ryan?
think so.
Yeah,
I'm going
Gotta
back
get
and forth doing 2 drafts right now. I just picked up Dalvin Cook and Najee Harris. I was at the tail end
There you
of
go.
I think it's 10-person draft. Is that right? I don't love 10-person. Prefer 12. All right, what we got? We got some guy coming in here, says if Zach is healthy, he should play. Versus the Browns, we think we should win that game because backup quarterback, but are okay with Flacco against the Ravens. Flacco versus Jacoby Brissett are 2 entirely different quarterbacks. I have, if you told us we had Jacoby Brissett as our backup, I think he's fine. But I think 14 years of Joe Flacco and understanding who he is, I have a relatively safe expectation for what he is. I'm not expecting like anything crazy. Like Jacoby Brissett to me, he could win that game. Like it's like I'm not super nervous. Like Flacco, there's probably a ceiling on him. I don't know, Matt. Do you think there's anything weird about saying like, oh, we should win with Zach in against the Browns because they have a backup quarterback in, but we're sitting here thinking like, oh, I don't mind having Flacco starting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand where some guy is coming from here. I just think, like, for where Zach Wilson is currently, for what we saw, him and Joe Flacco probably aren't as far apart as Deshaun Watson and Jacoby Brissett are. So I think that's probably where we're coming from on that one.
Green Bean, what about you? What do you think about the whole idea that Zach is playing a backup quarterback week 2, should win, but like we're playing a backup week 1 and we think we should win?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like there are so many like nuances to this thought process. Here's the thing with week 1 that makes it interesting, again, is that Joe Flacco has not had the opportunity to play his former team. They kind of unceremoniously just kind of dumped him. They sent him to Denver, who had a bad team at the time, and then Denver drafts Drew Lock, and everybody was like, oh, you're here to train Drew Lock, and he said, go F yourself, I'm not here to train anybody, and everybody said, boo, Joe Flacco's a grumpy old man, and all that stuff, and now here he is, and this is the first opportunity, so that's kind of the silver lining. Now, the negative side to that is, I would imagine Harbaugh knows exactly what Joe Flacco doesn't play well against, better than anybody. And so he'll probably, show a bunch of those looks and all that. So it goes both ways, but we might have a guy who's more motivated. Now, that said, you always want your starting quarterback to play. Zach Wilson is our future, hopefully. So we want him to play. Now, when you move that whole thought process over to week 2, the fact that Jacoby Brissett is a backup quarterback, I mean, he's been a starter in the league numerous times. And, dude, they're stacked. Cleveland, like all he needs to do is be, the old term, like a game manager. All he has to do is limit mistakes and they can beat anybody. Truth be told, man, like they have a good defense. They have lots of offensive weapons. So Jacoby Brissett, yes, he's a backup quarterback, technically speaking, but I don't think it necessarily gives Zach a better option week 2 than week 1. It's like, it all boils down to like we're overthinking it, right? It's just if Zach is truly healthy, not like, he looks pretty good, looks good, feels good, like solid. Let's make sure he can run and cut on that leg like he likes to do. And if he's ready, he's our starting quarterback. Again, the only thing that makes it interesting week 1 is the Flacco Ravens thing for me.
Interesting. John Finnegan says, can the Jets have a competent kicker in 2022? I really hope so. Greg the Leg Zuerlein is replacing Pinheiro, who was perfect for us last year. It's always a risky business when you have to try and replace a kicker who played well. I trust Greg's distance more than I trust Pinheiro's, but the accuracy of Pinheiro was always nice to kind of lean back on. Green Bean, are you confident in our kicking situation, or how are you feeling right now about it?
Yeah, well, admittedly, I was really hoping for the other way. I mean, Pinheiro is going into his third season. You know, he's got a good young leg. Clearly, he was very accurate from what we've been able to see. So I thought that was a little bit of a head scratcher. Now in camp, Zuerlein looked good too, and they probably look if all things are equal, you go with the strong leg, right? But I think I probably would have leaned toward Pinheiro. That all said, I mean, it looks good. This would be the third kicker that we've gotten from the Dallas Cowboys scrap heap. So far, we got Jason Myers and Nick Folk. Both of them ended up being fantastic kickers for us for extended periods of time. So maybe third time's a charm, and Zuerlein, Greg the Leg is our guy for a few years. That'd be real nice. I'm getting tired of this, kicking, worrying about the kicker. It's nice when you have a kicker that you can trust, like, from 50 up, he's money. Like, that's what you want. And then 50 and over, you go, okay, he can do it. It's like you want it, you want that confidence. So I feel pretty good with Zuerlein. I would have preferred Pinheiro personally.
Matt, what about you? How do you feel about our kicking situation?
I think it's fine. I wasn't super surprised that Zuerlein beat out Pinheiro just based on his, past history. I know he's not the guy that he necessarily was with the Rams, but I still think he's a solid kicker. He has a really good leg. And like Green Bean was saying, the Jets haven't had a stable kicker probably since Nick Folk. It's been a rotating cast of characters here where guys are coming in and out. And I'm just hoping they have a solution for, I don't know, is 3 years too much to ask for? 3 years of the same kicker, I feel like would be pretty nice.
Right? Yeah. Doesn't seem like
it's been a long
much.
time. When's the last time? Nick Folk was probably the last time we had any sort of consistency at kicker, I feel like.
Well,
because Myers was only here for a year.
1 year.
That's it?
1 year?
It was
2017.
He played phenomenally well, went to the Pro Bowl, and then we're like, we could do better.
We don't need that. Yeah,
I can't pay him actually.
I can't pay him the $3 million he wants because I got to overpay Tremaine Johnson, who's clearly worth every penny. Fucking misguided ideals.
Winston drops in, says Matt Ryan Greenbean predict the Jets record. I'm gonna say an optimistic 8-9. I think anything below a 7-10 season would be disappointing for me. Green Bean, your thoughts?
I'm right there with you. I think, 8 wins is not too much to ask. I think 7 is the floor. I can say, okay, it's a nice step up. And it all depends on how we're losing games, right? That's the big thing. We really just want a competitive team. We want to believe that this march is actually a march forward, that we're actually able to believe in the staff we have. I mean, Joe Douglas generated 5 first-round picks the last 2 years, and his second-round picks were Elijah Moore and Breece Hall. So that's kind of 7 first-round picks. He's done a pretty good job. So we got to now see this team be able to compete on the field. I think 8 wins is not too much to ask. I would love, to see that happen. Maybe some real exciting football and maybe get to 9, 10. That would be really, really fun. But I think realistically, 8's not too much to ask, man. That's what I'm hanging my hat on.
Matt, what are you thinking about win-wise?
Yeah, I'm going to make it 3 for 3. I've been saying 8 and 9 for a while now. I think 7 or 8 is probably where they end up. And I like to lean more on the optimistic side here. I think if, everything fails, maybe it's a 5-win year. Anything under that, if they repeat as a 4-13 team, I think that's unmitigated disaster. And if they give you anything more than 8 wins, that's great to me. It's not impossible, obviously, but I think that would be, everything breaking right for them to get to that 9-10 win mark.
Iowan Jets fan, what's up, dude? He says, can we stop being old ladies clutching their pearls in anxiety? If the knee is good, Zach should play. Flacco won't be the next Testaverde. I don't think anyone's predicting Flacco to be the next Testaverde, but I do think because of the hiccups.
You haven't read my comment section.
You're right.
Oh,
I don't know, Ryan.
Dude, clearly I am just missing the boat on this one. I do want Flacco to start week 1 just because I don't want to rush Zach back. If Zach gets hurt, like one of our commenters said earlier, that is more of an issue than him missing the first week, in my opinion. I wouldn't start him till he's 100%. And Flacco getting some of the lumps against a pretty decent defense while our offensive line gels is kind of okay with me. But hey, if he's healthy and good to go, who am I to say we can't start the guy? Green Bean, you clutching your pearls over there?
Of course, I'm an old sea hag, so why wouldn't I clutch my pearls? That's who I am.
Speaking of clutching your pearls, Manscaped, the best in below the waist grooming technology.
Right, clutching those pearls. There it is.
I don't want to give too much information here, but someone on this panel might have used their Lawnmower 4.0 to just hit earlier today.
There it is.
Do with that information as you will.
So I haven't used these yet. The crop mop, that's one that looked interesting. Ball button body wipes.
Hell yeah, crop
Maybe
mop.
Shay will get to use them. I clean some diaper butts with the Manscaped stuff.
Right. You got to report back. Maybe there's dual purpose. That's the greatest thing when you can use things from more than one, one.
It'll be like Babyscaped
application. Yeah. So you know what? I think Iowan is definitely responding to a large sentiment. And look, I think Iowan, I don't know how how aware of the Jets you were in 1998, but let me remind everybody. I was there. I was passionate. I worked at AT&T. I was like an adult, right? So I remember these years when Vinny Testaverde came in. Most Jets fans thought the season was over. We thought the Parcells era was going to be in the toilet. Like Vinny Testaverde was a disappointment. He threw too many pick sixes. It seemed like, oh my God, this is what we're down to. Vinny frigging Testaverde. Nobody thought that he was going to come in and have that revitalization of his career. He had that just miracle career. I mean, that year in particular. So who's to say what Joe Flacco is? He's been here 2 years. Don't forget that. He was here last year, so he knows the system. So you know what, Iowa? I'm going to go exactly contrary to your point and say Joe Flacco is Vinny Testaverde. And I can't wait to see it. There you go, you bastard from Iowa.
Brian Dolan, our buddy from Jet Nation, says the Jets' biggest problem is that Zach Wilson is a better looking Sam Darnold.
How do you know that? Come on.
We're only one season in. Give him 3 years before we start claiming he's Sam Darnold. Give him a chance. Come on. He is better looking though. I'll give him that.
Yeah, well, I mean that's pretty telling, Brian. It's good to see you, by the way. I haven't seen you in a little while, and I used to see you all the time. It's nice to see you. But who's to say that Zach Wilson is better? I prefer Sam. I think Sam's better looking. So now what? Now what do we got? Now where are we?
I love it. Matt, you think he's a better looking Sam Darnold?
Yeah, and Mike White should start too.
There it is.
Yep.
The plot twist.
I agree.
I
Mike F.
disagree with you guys entirely. Who we got next? Scuttlebutt. Scuttlebutt says, if the Jets go 5-12, do you want to blow it up again? Absolutely not. But it also depends how that 5-12 happens. If it's like, yo, you're getting your, you know what? If you're getting kicked down constantly, and it's 5-12 that way, okay, there's got to be like someone's got to fall on the sword. And for me it would be Ulbrich, but I think you probably have some more things going on that are a little more pressing. I don't know. Do you want to blow it up, Green Bean, if we go 5-12?
No. I mean, well, look, here's what I would say. If we like Matt said, like 4-13, 5-12, right? If we're doing that, something's really wrong. But I'm gonna find it hard to believe that it's the guy who generated 7 first-round picks for this coach in 2 years. Like, name me the head coaches in their first 2 years had 5 first-round picks in Breece Hall and Elijah Moore in the second round. I think Joe Douglas is doing his job. Now, Joe Douglas picked Robert Saleh, so you know, there's a little bit of mud in the water here. But at the same time, it's like, you know, look, if Robert Saleh can't figure out how to coach himself out of a paper bag with all of this talent that's now on the team and at least be competitive, then there's something to look at there. That said, he got a 5-year contract, man. I don't think that the Woody Johnsons have any interest in blowing this up. I think this is going to be our lot for the next 3 years. Like last year, 3 more minimum. That's what I think.
3 more meaning this year plus 1 more, or this year plus 2 more?
Yeah, I'm saying like 4. Like I'm saying like, I know, sorry
4.
about that. So like a full 4 years. They might, you know, cut him 1 year early, but and I think Joe Douglas should stay, period. That's what I think. Clearly he knows what he's doing. I mean, you might not like one thing. I do not agree with everything he's done. I thought the cuts were a little bit odd. You know, I don't love everything, man. I need to make that clear, but clearly he knows what he's doing. My concern is the coaching staff. It's not the talent on the team. I think we have more than enough talent to be competitive. If we can't be, and we end up being 4-12, I mean, obviously we're going to need to see why that is, but no matter what it is, there's something going on with the coaching staff. If it's Ulbricht and we're getting beat 44-35 each week, that's telling. If we can't score any points and we're losing 6-3 each week, you know what I mean? Like, so it all depends. But at the same time, I don't think they're firing anybody, man. I mean, maybe a coordinator, but as far as Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, nobody's getting fired. And I'm a firm believer that Joe Douglas should be here for the rest of his life.
All right, Matt, I got a question for you. I'm on the clock right now. Jerry Jeudy, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Darnell Mooney, Gabe Davis.
See, I like Amon-Ra St. Brown, but like part of my decision making going into drafting wide receivers is who their quarterback is. So I feel like I would lean towards Gabe Davis or Jerry Jeudy. If you're a Jeudy believer, I'd probably go with him.
All right, let's go with a little bit of Jeudy. And then, okay, so here's what my team's looking like right now. I got Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, Terry McLaurin, Jerry Jeudy, Kyle Pitts. So I need a third wide receiver plus a flex. Or do I go with my quarterback here? Because Patrick Mahomes is here, Lamar's here, Kyler's here still. Or do I hold off a little bit longer, you think?
You're saying for drafting a quarterback?
Should I draft a quarterback or should I go another receiver? Should I go Gabe Davis as my other one? Just go Jerry Jeudy, Gabe Davis.
Yeah, you could do something like that. I always like to wait on quarterback. That's my own personal strategy, though, because I think the value there is better than waiting on wide receiver or running back.
Yeah, agreed.
Good. You got to get tight ends. That's all I know.
I already got my tight end. I got Pitts. We're going to do a little Gabe Davis.
Well done, sir. Well done.
We'll do that. And now I'm on the clock over here. Damn, man, I'm all over the place right now. This is what happens when you got 2 drafts going. Euphoria drops in, says, "It's Jets week, lads. Let's surprise the NFL this Sunday. Jet the F up." Dude, if we could somehow capture a victory, I would lose my marbles, especially if Zach winds up starting. Knobcraft says, "Sam Darnold looks like a Lego man." Sam Darnold looks like a thumb.
A little bit.
Little bit like a thumb. All right, what else we got in here? Nose Kills. Nose Kill says, "A dime store genie granted us all 2 very modest wishes for next Sunday. I wished for 0 Jets 3 and outs and a Clemens sack. How about you guys?" Ooh, this is interesting. A very modest genie. No 3 and outs would be fantastic.
Why modest?
That would be.
Oh, because 2.
Or is it like one of those like, it's the genie, you make a wish, but it's one of those like, it's like making a deal with the devil and it's something else that happens. So like you get 0 3 and outs, but it's because you get interceptions and fumbles all the time. Or you get 4 and out.
Right.
Like you still may not score any points. And then Clemens like sacks Zach Wilson or something like that. At least something stupid along those lines. Oh man,
Can we
Do I
not wish
have-
for the? Can we not wish for a win? Is that like against the rules? Because that's the first thing I'm rooting for.
Yeah,
Or
that's
wish-
where my mind went to.
I want to
gotta be,
win,
right?
and I want the entire Jets team to come up to the hangar and hug us and congratulate us and tell us that if it wasn't for you, we couldn't have possibly won this game. We all got our cameras on, so we got the best content ever. You know what I mean? That's what I wish after the win. Right,
There
Matt?
we go. Matt, what do you want? If you're rubbing a genie, well, not a genie, rubbing the lamp so the genie comes out.
Yeah. Once he
Yeah,
comes
hold
out,
on. Let me
you gotta
get.
stop rubbing.
Hello.
Oh boy.
Oh god,
off
I'm gonna get
rails.
demonetized. There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Brees Hall, because I think I'm gonna assume that wishing for a win is out of the picture because I feel like that's too easy. So I'm gonna wish for things that probably result in wins, which would be Brees Hall over 100 rushing yards, because I think that means the Jets are hogging the ball and winning time of possession. And I will also wish for a Sauce Gardner pick 6.
Ooh, that would be a good one. Yeah, I want to see a few sacks. I want to see Lamar Jackson like get hit so hard he like doesn't run. He decides like, okay, maybe I will try to throw it. I'm trying to get a contract here. I don't want to like put my body on the line. That's what I want to see happen. I don't care who does it. I hope everyone hits him. Brian Dolan drops in again. Brian says LaFleur's worked well last year with 3 quarterbacks not named Zach. But yeah, Ulbrich is shaky. Better positional coach than defensive coordinator. Good to see you too, Green Bean. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like I'm so confident in our offense that, or at least our offensive coordinator, because we got to see Joe Flacco do well. We got to see Mike White do well. We got to see Josh Johnson do well. We got to see Kenny Pickett do well in just a week of practice. Like all the guys at the Senior Bowl did well with our offense as well. So Zach not being able to perform well is a little bit of a concern to some extent. Now I'm just hoping
like Tennessee, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia.
Tampa Bay was the best
offense
game.
pretty good.
I think Tampa Bay was our best game. Or Zach's best game. Like as much as like it was fun to watch, the Tennessee game and all that, I felt like the growth he had throughout the season, Tampa Bay was the most impressive for me, even in a loss.
Yeah, I liked the Houston game. That was a good one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Zach, he started a little bit slow when he came out. He ended up winning the game. That was good for me. I like that.
That was a gritty one.
Yeah, it was right. It felt like we earned it. You know what I mean? I like that shit. And then we went and stole Jacob Martin because he was sacking Zach. We went and got him. Dude, can we just talk about Ty Johnson for a second? How's this guy?
How did
he make it over Zonovan Knight now? What the hell is
hell's
that?
happening? What's going on?
It
Does
makes no
anybody
sense.
know?
Dude, shocked. Absolutely shocked.
What did he do, dude? Let me tell you guys something.
He's got
And I
naked
mean this-
pictures of Robert Saleh. That's what it is.
got
The
'em.
only way.
Out of everybody on the offense, he might be the number one player that I don't trust. Like, obviously, when you get to the third, fourth string offensive line, whatever. But, like, as far as the guys who get on the field, he might be the guy that I trust the least. And he's still here. Okay, he made it over P-Ryan, which is stupid. The Eagles went and snatched his ass up quick. And then you get Bam Knight. And it's like, okay, you got to cut somebody. Why Bam Knight over Ty? I don't understand it. Somebody needs to tell me. I don't know what it is. I'm lost.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It just felt like the guy couldn't catch a cold. And then like he's not very good at blitz pickup either. So it just seems like it's a whole cluster of chaos.
Yeah, that Jacob Martin sack, if you ever go back and watch it, he literally, like, he beats Fant. That was the one sack that I think Fant gave up. But he beats Fant quick, and Ty Johnson is there for a square hit, and he quite literally runs him over. It's as if Ty Johnson is an 8-year-old kid with a sign that says, "Please don't hit me." Like, that's what he's like, boom, just right over him, and he sacked Zach. And it was just, it's like, I don't know. He doesn't do anything in pass protection, man. It's terrifying.
So, guys in the chat, we have about 600 people in here. If you can hit that like button, goes a long way. And anyone who's a member of the channel, this is all members now, not just the first class and frequent flyer. I've got 2 spots left in the Jets Talk Fantasy Football League, and I just dropped the link on my channel page. So if you go over there, anyone who is a member, that's the economy class as well. Head over there. 2 spots left. First 2 people in get to participate. So there you go. The Jet Show comes in and says, Jets 24, Ravens 17, we are here. If the Jets can hold the Ravens to 17, I think the Jets can win. I think that's the magic number. Not even just the magic number. I think if the Jets can hold the Ravens to like 24 points, the Jets could come out with a victory. If they start scoring more than that, then I think there's no way the Jets win. Matt, what are your thoughts on the score prediction here, and is this realistic? Ooh, it sounds like we got both our... I think we got both our guys. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No, I was. I think if the Jets were to win this game, I think it's going to have to be a low-scoring game. I don't think I like the Jets' chances, especially if it's Joe Flacco. If it turns into a shootout kind of game, I think it's going to have to be a defense, grind it out, low-scoring, hog the ball, ugly kind of 17-16 kind of win here. So if you're holding Ravens under 20, I'll say you probably have a pretty good shot.
Yeah. It's got to be ball control. Yeah, I mean, I think the game plan should quite literally be little 5s, little 8-yard chunks, tight ends, running backs. If they come up in the box, to stop and they're crowding that area, then you send some Elijah Moore action, some Garrett Wilson to slice them open. But I think, man, it's about ball control. It's about keeping Lamar Jackson off of the field and keeping your defense in top form, so they're well rested for every drive. We can't be doing a bunch of 3 and outs and giving our defense, require them to have to stop Lamar Jackson, every 5 minutes. We can't do that. Ball control, in my opinion, is the name of the game. Keep them off the field.
I love it. Boys and girls, we got our 12 players in the Jets Talk Fantasy Football League. So it was me and my brother, because I had to troubleshoot this. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I've never used Sleeper before, so I was like, all right, let me throw this in. We got, should I read the names of the people, or should I read the ats of the people? I guess I'll read the name. Team names are pretty funny. The McAfrican Americans, Mutt Viles, Landon Hahn, Knobs Slobs, Curdy, Mouth for War, Team Gotham City Spark, Buckets, Team D McManus, and Team Jets Chaos. We got Jeremy in the league.
Who's that?
There he is.
Yeah, that guy.
Who?
We know that guy. Gonna be fun. Top 3 positions are gonna wind up winning. If you guys want to get involved in the, I have a NFL Pick'em that's also going on. That one's totally free. That's open up to anyone. If you guys want to do that, down below in the description, just click on the QR link down below. I think I included it in there. Benji says, what does Benji say? Benji says, looks like MetLife isn't sold out. Were we consistently sold out throughout the 2000s? I don't recall. I think we were sold out throughout at least until MetLife was built. Then with the PSLs, I'm not so sure that remained the case. Greenby, do you have any knowledge as to how the Jets ticket sales were when they first built the stadium?
I mean, it was very, very well, you mean MetLife? I'm really not up on the MetLife stuff. I can tell you all kinds of shit about Giant Stadium. Not how much that's going to help you, but I got that on lock. I've only been to 4 games in MetLife. You know what I mean? This will be the 5th, so I don't really know too much.
We're going to pack it out. It's going to happen. Pack out the AC unit.
Well, I'll tell
Edward
you what,
Ziff.
Brian. Well, yeah. I'll tell you, we had the Jets fan fund, the Green Beans Wayward fan. We got 5 people who've never been to a Jets home game from around the country are now coming to the stadium for their first ever home game because of the fund. I want to thank everybody. So we got 5 more. So we're 5 closer to packing it, Ryan. We'll
Love
get
it.
there.
Absolutely love it. Edward Ziff jumps in and says, rub the genie, get more wishes. Brian says, is Ty Johnson primary gunner or something? I don't know. Is he playing on special teams right now? I haven't really paid much attention to him outside of like being frustrated that he's running the ball.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe Boyer needs him. But Bam had special teams. Well, he's the returner, right? So if they already like their return guys, but they cut Tevin Coleman too. He was returning on kickoff anyway.
Kevin says, do you think Knight is a stealthy waiver practice squad ad? Yeah, he made the practice squad. He's on it.
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
You know,
And let me say this. Maybe, just maybe, they felt like if they cut him, Bam Knight that is, during the waiver wire frenzy, that they were more likely to lose him rather than waiting a week. Like they were always going to bring Connor McDermott back. And that's one of the things I'm pondering. Maybe they just didn't want to expose him during, when everybody had their knives and forks out. And they calmed it down, let everybody fill their spots, and then they put him on.
That's what I said earlier. Tigo was talking about it last night. He's just like, yo, he's like, this is what I think was going on. He's like, I called that Bam Knight would be cut and they would bring back McDermott. But then Bam Knight would get back onto the practice squad because the teams have already figured out their roster depth and they're not going to just add another running back so close to the start of the season. It's an interesting thought. I think it's probably right. And it's a stealthy move by Joe Douglas if that's the way he kind of worked it out. Joe S. comes in and says, JD got too cute with the bottom of the roster cuts. I don't know. Did they wind up cutting? They cut Curry, I think, right? Does that wind up happening?
IR.
Yeah, shocker.
Yeah.
Was he on IR all last year too? Like, I was shocked he even came back to play.
Right. Yeah. So, but it's a good point. I mean, honestly, I feel similarly. I think, look, here's the silver lining. Like every year, us Jets fans, like on this level, like the people who are, ridiculous and watching YouTube videos and tweeting and like we're nuts. Like we're paying attention much more than the casual fan, and most fans are casual fans. So we argue about this stuff every year. Oh my God, this guy should have been cut. The truth is that most of the players that we've cut have gone out, and they've not done anything. I mean, there's like one every now and again. So it doesn't really matter in most cases. Now that said, I did think that cutting Pinnock and Michael, you know how I feel about P. Ryan, but it's there were a few guys I thought I think they wanted to keep him. So I think that there is an argument to think that they got too cute, for lack of a better term. But I think when it boils down, it never really amounts to anything, guys. 99 out of 100 times, it just doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
Elijah Moore is still available in this league, and I'm hoping he makes it 5 more picks back to me. I would like to have a Jet on this team.
I lost Elijah Moore 1 pick before mine, too.
Of course. Such a kick in the nuts. Mutt Files comes in and says, bold take, Lamar Jackson under 200 all-purpose yards. Ooh. Are you talking about the first half? Because that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
J.E. Allen says, why a low-scoring win for the Jets, Matt? Rationale, please. I think the only way the Jets win is if it's low-scoring. That's kind of my thought process. I don't know if we're going to beat the Ravens in a shootout. Is that kind of where you're going?
Correct. Do you think a 38-year-old Joe Flacco is going tit for tat with Lamar Jackson moving the ball up and down the field? I personally don't. I think they're, like I said, I think more likely than not, if you're going to win this game, it's going to have to be because, 1, you win the turnover battle, and number 2, you win the time of possession, which is running a lot with Breece Hall and Michael Carter. And if that's the case, the likelihood of scoring a bunch of points is probably pretty low.
Green Bean, you think this is going to be a low-scoring game, or you think the Jets are going to duke it out in a shootout?
Well, I'm predicting 28-27, but I do agree with Matt. It's we can't get into a shootout. That's not what we, we're in a bad position if we have to do that with these guys. That all said, don't forget Joe Flacco came in a couple times and he threw for 300 like it was nothing. Remember the whole Sam Darnold? He couldn't get over 200 yards. We thought, oh, he's got no line, he's got no talent, and then Flacco comes in, he throws for 320 first game and 2-3 touchdowns. So Joe Flacco has that ability to kind of put on a display. And we have talent. Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios. We have the tight ends. We have the running backs. So there's a lot there, but I still think the Jets' game plan should not be bomb after. Like, we shouldn't be doing that. We should be 5, 7, 8-yard chunks and slowly and methodically march down the field, wear their defense down, and keep our defense fresh, keep Lamar Jackson off the field. If it ends up being a shootout, I have to say that we're at a disadvantage.
All right, I got 2 picks back to back right now. I'm going to take Dak Prescott as my quarterback at this point. And I'm going to get me some Elijah Moore, taking him second because it makes it look even crazier that I got him around later because I'm at the end of the round.
Love it.
So now my team looks like Dak Prescott, Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, Terry McLaurin, Jerry Jeudy, Gabe Davis, Kyle Pitts, J.K. Dobbins, Hunter Renfrow, Elijah Moore. 10-man league.
I like it.
Not too shabby. Take that. At least now I can start to not look so much over there. Andrew Yale says, my fantasy football team name, Gangrene Puffers. Guys, put your favorite fantasy football team name in the chat. Start it with FF. And then a dash, so that way we can clearly see it in the chat. FF dash, and then your team name. I think this is going to be kind of fun to see this. Who else we got? I think Muttviles just dropped in. Yeah, what's going on, Muttviles? He says the Lamar take is the whole game. He's got no receivers, and I believe the front 7 will hold Lamar in the run game, plus Clemens will eat Lamar alive 1-0. So Tigo was also kind of saying that he doesn't see how the Jets can lose against the Ravens just because you lock down Mark Andrews and you lock up Lamar Jackson. And I told him, I was like, but you got to lock up Lamar Jackson. That's the whole part. Right. This dude's a video game character.
Yeah, good plan. I like it.
But I guess outside of that, if you're not afraid of Lamar's arm and you lock down Mark Andrews, then maybe there's a rationale to say, hey, this offense may not go anywhere because he may be without J.K. Dobbins. He may be without Gus Edwards. The left side of the offensive line is a little suspect. Defensively, they're coming back, but they were the only team that was hurt just as much as the Jets last year. They got so much talent back. And I'm a Lamar Jackson believer. I think this dude's going to ball out looking for his contract for next year. Matt, your thoughts?
I think the Ravens are going to be very, very good this year. Spoiler, I have them coming out of the AFC, actually. I think they upset Buffalo and Kansas City and the Chargers along the way, teams like that. But it's just I understand where he's coming from or where everyone's coming from and saying you just have to stop Lamar and Mark Andrews. But that's so much easier said than done. The Jets really struggle at stopping tight ends, and Jordan Whitehead and Quan Alexander should help mitigate that a little bit. But those are my 2 key factors for the Jets this week. Is I think those 2 guys have to play out of their minds in order to keep this one close, because they're both probably the ones who I trust the most in terms of containing Lamar Jackson down around the line of scrimmage and then also covering the tight end. I don't really know if their free safety is going to be able to do it. I definitely don't think any other linebacker, CJ Mosley or Quincy Williams, is going to be able to do it. So I think it comes down to those 2 guys on the defense this week.
Green Bean, what about you? What do you think? Can we hold Lamar in the run game? He's got no receivers. Do you think the front 7 wins? What do you think about Muttviles' comment here?
Yeah, well, it's look, that's the whole problem with Lamar Jackson is every team knows, hey, man, if we just take this guy, out of the game, so to speak, mitigate what he can do. But that's not That's not that easy to do. That's the problem. That's why he was league MVP and all those things. That's why he is who he is. Now, he was injured last year, so, we don't know how well he's going to come back. Like, we don't know. There could be some rust. There could be, anything. The team might not be gelling. They're adding some rookies. Who knows? It's week 1. But I think the Jets, it's a shame that DJ Reed isn't playing. It looks like. I mean, maybe he does, but it's a shame because, as much as I like Bryce Hall, I really wanted to see Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed be able to kind of take the wide receivers away. And then the rest of our team in many respects can focus on the running backs, the tight ends, because that's what Baltimore does so effectively. I mean, they have so many stud tight ends. They have, a whole stable of good running backs and Lamar Jackson. So I think if you trust Sauce Gardner and Bryce Hall, if that's what it is, to kind of, hey, go out there and just take those guys away. We have work to do up here, so to speak. If we can do something like that, we have a shot at this. If our defensive line frazzles them, like if they're dominating the offensive line and we're getting, Lamar Jackson kind of, thinking about running really quick and we can contain him, so to speak, I think that's going to be a really good thing if we can pull that off. But again, man, it's going to be hard. I really still think the path to victory is about keeping that guy off the field. Time of possession. That's the key.
Brian says Flacco is a steely-eyed missile man.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, he is.
I'm getting into some of the fantasy football names. Cougar Hunter, Mr. Matt O'Leary.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
My name is, did you know you can't, when you do the abbreviation on ESPN and you can get 4 letters, it's usually the first 4 of your last name. Well, I tried to make mine MILF, didn't work. They were like, you can't do that. Then I was like M, lowercase l, uppercase L, F, didn't work. Then I was like M, exclamation point, LF, didn't work. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So no fun. My team name, what is my team name? Zach Wilson's mom's friend, I think is one of my team names. And then I have Man I Love Football is my other one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? Book of the More Moms says Dark Soldier. Drippy Douglas says Into Chubb.
Good.
Fiber says
Good,
Riley
Soldier.
Reed option.
That was a good one.
Oh, that's good.
That's a really good one. I like that. I'm going to steal that at some point. Zach Milfson, Cougar Hunter. Pits and Tits says Silas Jones. Throwing moms and banging moms, like the Barstool shirt. How I Met Your Mother.
Ooh, okay.
Washington Foreskins. MILF Hunters. Ricky Williams Piss Test. I used to do Toss My Sala. That was always a good one.
Oh, that's good too.
Right? I shouldn't say always. I did it last year, Toss My Salad. I did Show Me Your TDs. That was a good one. Mine is E.T. Phone Mahomes. That's a good one. MILF Hunters and Sleep Deprived Papa. It says Tigo. Knob Craft says, beating up on Lamar is key. Getting him shook. Send Clemens. Love it. Football's deep. I like that.
Too. Yeah, you guys are good, man. There's a lot of creative people out there. I'm impressed. Yeah, it's good.
I've seen this. I'm in a few leagues with my ball, Zach Ertz. It's always a good one.
Took me a second.
Dak to the future. Brees's Pieces. This is a good one. All gas to no break.
That's really cool.
That's clever. I like it. That's a good one.
Brees's Pieces is good too. That's pretty good, man. I like that.
Urban Meyer's Marriage Council.
Ouch.
Oh, this is a good one. How Zach Met Your Mother. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's really good. The Breesty Boys. Philadelphia Neanderthals. There's some really good ones in here. Oh, God, I'm just going to see if there's any other ones that, like, jump off. Dak Street Boys is a good one. Rexual Healing.
That's great, too.
Oh, God, there's so many good ones. People are so much more clever than I am.
I know, right? It's like, I can't. You know what? My team is the Puddin' Pops. That's all I could come up with. I got
Oh, no, I'm over here.
Pops.
Damn it.
Puddin' Pops.
Did you miss your pick?
I almost did. I got Cordero Patterson, which I'm not entirely thrilled with, but let's see. Bam. All right. Throw myself a little backup quarterback action there, too. All right. Let's steer this ship back on track here. Getting a little sidetracked. How Zach Met Your Mother is such a great name.
That is so funny.
Oh, God. Where's all these chats? Where was I? Sorry. Main Jets fan. Could Zach hold up in a shootout if the defense is going all out? I don't know. Baltimore's defense is scary good. I think they're so much better than they were last year just from getting the guys back. Like that back end with Hamilton and Williams and getting back Marcus Peters. Was it Humphrey on the other side? That's a scary secondary for a young quarterback. Matt, you think Zach could win in a shootout?
I think he has a hell of a lot better chance than Joe does. I think the big play ability that we've seen from Zach, like the throw where he rolls out and points Corey Davis to the end zone and throws the ball. We're not seeing Joe Flacco do that at this point in his career. He's going to manage the game, which is fine. That's probably what you want from your backup quarterback and your veteran. But Zach is more boom or bust. So you're going to have big plays. You're going to have mental mistakes. That's how it is with a lot of these young quarterbacks. I think he would do better in a shootout than Joe.
Green Bean, what about you? You think our young signal caller, Zach Wilson, would do better in a shootout?
I do. I think so. And again, I just want to maintain, I believe that Joe Flacco would be highly motivated for this game. And I think that this particular game, he might be able to do that as well. Joe Flacco throwing for 300 yards isn't really a thing. But I do think that if we're getting into a shootout, I'd rather have Zach in there.
Hennessy Heisman says, fellas, see you in the hangar week 1. Can't wait. I'll have my LT. They say it can't be done. They say we have no chance. Jersey on. What jerseys are you guys going to be wearing to the game? Or are you going to be wearing jerseys?
I don't know yet. I have no idea.
Yeah, I haven't decided. What are you wearing? You wearing Sauce?
I think I'm going to wear my Sauce jersey.
There you go.
I think I got it. I'm like way too giddy about it. I'll go Sauce jersey and I'll do the pilot hat. That's what we'll do. Give a little.
I might wear. There you go. I like the pilot hat. That's a good idea. Hopefully it's not too hot for you though. You got to carry it around.
It's going to be like 95 degrees or something stupid like that.
Is it?
Well,
no, I have no idea. I haven't looked at the weather.
Well, we have the hangar is going to be air conditioned. I mean, we'll be outside, but I think the inside, if you get too hot, But I don't know. I
10-day.
Yeah, I
high of 80 on
wear,
Sunday. Yeah, I was going to
I
say.
haven't worn. Go on. I'm sorry.
Mine says partly sunny, but that's where I'm at. I'm a little bit further away. But yeah, what's the difference between partly sunny and partly cloudy? Like, where's that threshold? How do they draw the line? Are they like,
It's like the half glass full or half empty.
That's right,
Yeah.
Matt. I was going to say the same thing.
Mine says partly sunny, so we're going to win. That's
perfect.
I'm rolling with that, sticking with it.
I might wear. I haven't worn my Mo Lewis jersey to a game, so maybe it can bring. Last year I wore my Gastineau. Not good luck. That was terrible. So
it's not bad luck.
It's just didn't help.
No, it definitely didn't help. Johnny P says Lamar is a declining player. His stats drop each year, and not a single wide receiver on Baltimore would start on the Jets. We lose a shootout? ? Dude, I think Lamar is such a video game character. I like won't want to bet against him. And I kind of throw last year out because of all the injuries across the board. He was on his 4th string running back. And like, so one of the arguments Tigo was making last night was saying that there's no wide receivers that want to go play with Lamar. Like Brown tried to dip out of there last year and they traded him this year. Like, do you think there's something to it? Is there a reason why receivers aren't signing with the Ravens? Matt, I'll throw that one to you first.
They just play a different style. Like, to me, it doesn't really matter that their wide receiver room isn't that great. And Rashad Bateman's better than Corey Davis, by the way. So that's one who would start. But it doesn't matter. They are so good at running the ball, and Mark Andrews is really good. And Isaiah Likely is probably going to be pretty good receiving tight end too.
Yep.
So they might very well be a 12 personnel team, just like the Jets are. So I mean, obviously his MVP year was his best year by far, but the guy is 25 years old. I don't see how we could possibly say a 25-year-old is a declining player. That's crazy to me.
I do like, they have a stacked tight end room. Like after Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and then they got Charlie Kolar. Big Charlie Kolar guy. That was my my late round tight end.
Oh, yeah. I forgot they took Charlie Kolar, too. That's really good. Nice room.
Right?
Dude, they had 6 4th-round picks.
That's
and
insane.
they stocked up. Yeah, man. They got every one of them I liked. I liked every single 4th-round pick that they grabbed. I liked their 1st-round picks, too. Linderbaum and Hamilton. I thought they crushed it. They crushed it. But the thing is with Lamar Jackson, I mean, technically speaking, he's right. You know, if you look at his numbers, they go down every single year. And then last year, he got hurt, which is the great fear when you have a running quarterback. I think that's probably, you know, that's a lot of what's going on with the contract thing. It's like he wants to obviously be the man, right? And I think he's earned that. But from the Ravens' perspective, maybe they're thinking like, dude, your numbers have gone down every year and you got hurt last year. So we don't even know what you're going to be anymore. Now, that said, I mean, his numbers came down from MVP. So it's hard to maintain that. It's like it's obviously going to decline after an MVP season. I mean, most of the time, right? So I think it's skewed, but technically he's not wrong, but I wouldn't count him out, bro.
Yeah, Frankie says QBR for Lamar Jackson the last 3 years, 83, 67.3, 50.7. I think he's somewhere between the 83 and the 67.3. I think the 50.7 is a little bit more of a, you know, not a true litmus test for him with the injury and all the stuff going on last year. I think I wouldn't bet that he's going to be closer to that 50 number. I think he's going to be closer to the other two. Frankie Paul also points out Kolar is injured and not playing. Yeah, I'm not super concerned about him anyway this year. But I mean, like, overall, I like that tight end room. Talking Jets with Tigo. What's up, dude? He says, which player do you think blows up onto the scene in a big way this year, and why is it Elijah Moore? Yeah, Elijah Moore is going to be the favorite for everyone to like really pop off. I think it's absolutely going to be the thought process there. I don't know. If I want a player to pop off, I want it to be Carl Lawson, like in the worst way, dude. I want like 14 sacks, like one of him or Quinnen. I want someone on the D-line to just absolutely manhandle people and like bury them 6 feet deep. Green Bean, do you have a player you think is going to pop off?
Yeah, well, I actually agree with Tigo. That's why that was good comedy, Tigo. I liked how you laid that out. I'm impressed. I approve. But what made it even funnier for me is that when I saw the first half of the question, I was thinking Elijah Moore. So I really do think that Elijah Moore showed us last year, like it took him a minute to get settled, but he had that stretch where he was a top 5 receiver in the league. And if you have a guy like that all you got to do is get him the ball, get the ball in his hands. He's a surgical route runner. If he can get open, just get him the ball, like with a little 10-yard pass and and to have a guy who can take that 10 yards and make it a 35-yarder, make it all the way to the house. That's the kind of thing that I think the Jets have been missing. And to have guys like Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Berrios, the tight ends and the running backs behind that, I think, is what will enable Elijah Moore to get single coverage and to be able to beat his man. And that's what I'm really hoping for this week. Again, like I said, I really want ball control. At the same time, man, I would like to see Elijah Moore show the NFL this week what he's made of. And I think he's the guy most primed for it to pop off. And I wouldn't use that term without being led there, but I'll use it for this. I think Elijah Moore is going to pop off.
I got to find a defense now. Is there a defense you guys are consistently finding yourself going with?
I went with the Niners.
Um,
Look at their first two opponents. That's what I did.
What round are you in?
14. So I got 4 picks left.
Okay. Yeah, defense is usually something I wait on, but
yeah, well, I'm kind of at the tail end, so I'd rather grab a good one. I'm pretty happy with the rest of my. I'm leaning I like the Chargers because I like Khalil Mack and Bosa.
that's a nice.
But then I can't go. You know what, Green Bean, screw it. Let's go 49ers.
Yeah,
why not? Trust the old beanbag.
that's right. Because I don't know shit. I'm riding on beginner luck, bro. Hey, I got the first pick in the draft. I'm like, hey, man, I'm in. Let's ride this beginner luck wave. I'm going to steal everybody's cash.
Jay is a Ravens fan, or maybe Jay is just a Jet fan that lives in Baltimore. I'm not sure. He says, Greg Roman is a bad OC. They hate him here in Baltimore. Okay, so he sounds like a Jet fan. Stupid. He's just in Baltimore. Pablo says, Lamar can't afford to play with Quincy Williams on the field. Quincy will lay guys out heading to the sideline. Yeah, dude, that's the interesting piece of this whole puzzle, right? Like he could sign a long-term deal at any point now. It's not like he's franchise tagged where he can't sign a contract at this point in the season. So does he sign a monster deal just before game day? Probably not. I think he's going to go into the offseason. They'll franchise tag him. He'll go into the offseason again, and then they'll tag him a second time, a la Kirk Cousins, but then I think they trade him if a deal is not worked out. I mean, I think they'd be crazy not to work out a deal for Lamar.
What if he gets hurt? Let's say he bets on himself, kind of like
still
that.
Franchise tag him. Yeah, I mean, he tears an ACL or something right now. You franchise tag him.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
But that's 2 years in a row injured. I don't know.
I don't know. There's no way I would let Lamar, even with an ACL, go. Like you franchise tag him and you let him sit on the bench for a year. Well, I guess it would be this year, right? And then you have him for his franchise tag season next year. Man, that would be the worst case scenario. I don't wish that on anyone. I like Lamar too. Like for me, I want Lamar to go out there and just be like, I've got the easiest contract in the world. There's Deshaun Watson's contract. Give me $1 more. That's what I want. $1 more. Nice and easy.
Yeah, I mean the Cleveland Browns really ruined this for everybody with that deal.
Oh yeah. What do you think about the Russell Wilson deal? Russell Wilson got a massive contract, but not quite as much guaranteed money, but it ties him to the Broncos till he's like 40.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's smart. I think these quarterbacks are playing for a long time. He's still playing at a high level. And the Broncos, I mean, they haven't found someone after Peyton Manning left, and that was 7 years ago now. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you trade what you can trade to go get Russell Wilson. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see them lose Lamar. I saw Lamar liked a picture of him in a Dolphins uniform, and I was like, that is everything I don't want in this division. No. Like, absolutely terrifying to have to go against this guy. Green Bean, you think we might lay out Lamar? You think he's going to be maybe not running quite as much as he otherwise would since he doesn't have that contract? Or you think he winds up like going like nuts this year trying to get it?
That is an interesting wrinkle. Right, Ryan, what you just said, even though that's interesting to consider, like he'd be in self-preservation mode, I think it's actually going to be the opposite. I think he's going to want to tear the league up. We are the first course in what Lamar Jackson is preparing for a 17-course meal to get him the highest paid quarterback contract in NFL history. That's what he's working on. Now, I fantasize. I when I'm laying in bed at night, guys, this is what I do. I think about Quinnen Williams flushing him out of the pocket, and he runs to his left, and Carl Lawson gets him right in the chest and drives him into the ground. That, I think, if we could do that a couple times, if we can do that a couple of times and kind of early, I think that we got a different ball game. And that's what we have to do. This pass rush that we've built, they have to be able to get home. They can't just be pressuring Lamar Jackson, because he'll make you pay, man. You got to get him. And if they do, and get him with some good, solid shots, I think we got a different ball game. That's what I think about before I go to bed. That's what I think of. Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams.
I see Kelly McTavish and Matt having a conversation about a golf tournament. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
Funny.
he wants to know what my golf game is like. I said that I haven't played golf in probably 10 years, and I wasn't very good when I did play, but our buddy Ryan happens to work at a golf course, so.
I do. I just got this year, I got the TaylorMade Stealth driver. And since it's stealth, it's like a stealth bomber. There was this option to pay just a little bit more to get it custom colored. So your boy got a stealth green, or Gotham green, you know.
That's epic.
Stealth bomber, stealth driver. So I was pretty pumped with that. But yeah, no, we were actually talking about doing a golf outing before the draft, and then we talked about it possibly doing it in August of this year, leading up to like week 1, and doing something, having a good time. But I never really put all the pieces together. I just got busy, had a kid, things happen. It is what it is. John says, key to the game, stop the run, including spying on Lamar, be consistent, execute, limit penalties, especially personal fouls, go. Yeah, right? If you don't shoot yourself in the foot and you can contain the best player on offense, spells, at least lead you in the right direction to a victory. I want to see Whitehead or Quan Alexander or Quincy Williams spying Lamar Jackson the entire way. If you want to play zone and have 2 dudes out in the flat and have your linebacker just like ready to hit Lamar at any moment and just rush your front 4, that would be absolutely perfect. Put Sauce and Reed out on an island, throw the linebackers out into the flat, and then have whoever you want, Speedy Gonzalez, in the middle there to try and chase down Lamar. Love it. Greenbean, you think that's the key to victory? Stopping the run, including spying on Lamar?
Well, I don't know if they're going to spy on Lamar. I think it's, if so, I would like to see it be Jordan Whitehead, somebody that's actually competent, like that can actually contain him, not just be the first guy Lamar jukes. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I want to see. I think that's probably why Pinnock ended up getting cut. He was missing tackles all over the place. So we need somebody that if he decides to take off, can actually contain him, right at the line of scrimmage, short gains, maybe even in the backfield, those kinds of things. I think, man, it's all about us being able to do what we haven't been able to do under this regime, and that's stop the running game and stop the screen game and the tight ends. If we can do that, we got a shot in this game, because that's what the Ravens do, man.
What else we got going on here? Matt, what do you think? You think that's the key to the game? No penalties, execute, do all that good stuff?
Yeah, that sounds great to me. I like who you mentioned before. I think Quan Alexander, with his ability of coming down and making plays in the run game, and Jordan Whitehead's kind of same deal. I feel like he's at his best when he's coming down, making plays at the line of scrimmage. I think those two are going to be really key factors. The thing that scares me with Quincy is when he's over pursuing. Yes, if he connects on a hit, he has the pop to obviously knock Lamar out of the game, but I feel like he has the potential to be such a liability over pursuing in the run game.
I'm trying to pick another player. So I got 2 picks left. I guess the last one, I don't know if it should be. I hate drafting a kicker. I want to see if it will let me not draft a kicker. I got Russell Gage on the board, Raheem Mostert. Man, I don't know. How do you feel about Mostert? Got my boy Kenny
I
Gainwell.
like him.
Maybe I take a stab at that. Get some backup action going. Yeah, let's go. Why not? Screw it. We're this late in the draft. Oh, now I have to take a kicker. Damn it. Oh well, whatever.
There you go. So I don't know if you guys know this. So I mean, obviously, most of you do, but one of the things I think is very, very important that the Ravens did this offseason, just recently during the cuts, is like they signed Del'Shawn Phillips. So we cut him, they scooped him up real quick. And I think that's really smart because the Jets, the whole hope is that Saleh hasn't unveiled his real defense for this year. We just went super vanilla, same as last year. People think we can't do this and can't do that. If we do have an entirely different package that we're going to break out week one, Del'Shawn Phillips is going to give the Ravens the whole thing. So that's a little bit of a tip. And I think the Ravens were smart to do that. We saw it last year with what's his name? James Morgan down there with Carolina. And I was surprised to see that the Jets didn't do any of that, just kind of grabbing the guy. Robert Saleh said that he doesn't really focus on that. He doesn't care about that. He doesn't think like that. But I think Harbaugh does. And I think it's actually a smart move that could really give them, a little tip of the hand here and, just kind of showing what we're going to break out if we do have something sneaky planned, which is what we're all hoping. We hope we don't see last year's defense. I think signing Del'Shawn Phillips could be the thing, man. That could be something.
Daniel Murphy says, hey, Green Bean, Cedar Point is closing down Top Thrill Dragster. Just saw the news article about it. Thought you'd want to know.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. I didn't read it though. And they just they're just opening. They took down a coaster last year and they're replacing it with this whole boardwalk thing. The problem with that coaster, Daniel, is that it's always shutting down. It's the same basic coaster as �'𝐶@, at Great Adventure. And �'𝐶 is closed half the time, if not more. So that particular model is just very difficult to keep running. So they might as well tear it down and put something that'll be more consistent. Sad, though. It's a great coaster.
What is your favorite coaster, Green Bean? Since you rode on so many.
My favorite coaster is probably it's called Fury 325 down in North Carolina. Carowinds, 325-foot fucking monster. But I got to tell you guys, I think like the most fun I've ever had on a coaster was a little tiny wooden coaster called the Phoenix at Knoebels in Pennsylvania. If you guys are anywhere near that, dude, I highly recommend Knoebels. It was the most fun. And that little wooden coaster has won best wooden coaster in the world, I think 3 times, maybe 2 or 3 times. And it was a blast. We laughed the whole ride. It's just one of those really fun rides. So that's up there too.
Oh, I like the wooden coasters. I was going to say El Toro at Six Flags.
So good.
Big
That's
fan of
top
El
5.
Toro. It's a great one. Matt, you got a favorite coaster?
The Cyclone.
There it is.
Aha, there you go. See?
Brooklyn.
That's great. That's great.
Matthew, thank you for the super chat, dude. Says, only a couple more days, fellas. Get in the stadium at 12:30. Have to get the chance going early. About to see 82,000 fans for the first time since Fitz to Decker in 2015. Enjoy the game. Go Jets. Dude, I can't wait for that first Jets chant. Last time, I was like still in security as like the fumble or not fumble is happening. And like, I'm just sitting there and we're watching it on the big screen going through and I'm just like, oh no. I'm not even in the stands yet for like the excitement and it's already deflated.
That was so terrible. Me and Matt were so excited. We were in such high spirits. Took about
that went downhill
4
quick.
minutes. Yeah, 4 or 5 minutes, Matt. It was like
At least get me to the end of the
game.
game.
Murder someone in the upper deck.
oh, that guy. You know what's funny? I just recorded my podcast, and Matt, I shit you not, I had a whole like 3 minutes about that guy that I cut out. Cut out. I'm like, but dude,
that was the worst.
Yeah, I can't stand guys like that. Just ruins the day, and they don't shut up.
We'll always have that memory together, though, Green Bean.
Totally, man. now it's good to look back, as aggravating as he was. It's nice to have that with you, Matt.
Yeah, it's a funny story. We could always talk about that. It could be our running gimmick, anytime we go to a game. It's good.
Right. Agreed.
We've got 17 minutes left in this stream. Green Bean, you got a few qualifiers over there you got?
Yeah, I mean, I got some. I don't have them all. I'm not ready. Let me see how many we need.
Yeah, no. We're not picking yet.
Give me a few minutes. I'll get them.
Love
I'll
it.
get them.
Love it. Guys, if you want to get entered for our t-shirt giveaway, retweet the stream. I'm going to have Matt pick 5 people that retweet the stream, plus Green Beans picking a few qualifiers in the chat. And then someone's going to go home with a shirt tonight. Well, not tonight, but, it is tonight. You just won't go home with it tonight. Because I'll eventually send it to you. I bought, I got a shirt for Sauce Gardner for the sauce event, and I was like, I'm just going to give him one of my wide receiver 1 shirts. And it didn't ship in time. It got here like 2 days after. I was like, rats. But I gave him one of my little bracelets. One of my little,
that's nice.
Wham, Jets Talk bracelets. I left it there. And then as I was leaving and the event was over, it was still next to him. And I was like, maybe he'll take it. Or maybe he'll just throw it in the trash and not care. All good.
I think he wears it on Sunday.
I think he does.
There it
he
is.
probably wears it just at home in his personal time.
He gets a pick and he points to it, Ryan. He goes,
"Oh, dude, if he does one of those,
for Ryan,
I'm going to pass out. I'm just going to faint."
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, can I remind everybody, Matt mentioned the cyclone. I want to remind everybody that obviously opening day is September 11th on Sunday. Well, if you're going to be in the area, maybe if you're traveling in for the weekend for the game, we're going to meet at the Cyclone, the Coney Island Cyclone at 11 a.m. on the 10th. And we're going to do the world's tallest and fastest Jets chant part 2. So all Jets fans are meeting at the Cyclone. We're going to do another ride as we do the Jets chant as we crest the world's most famous roller coaster. And then we're going to go get some good, solid, legendary Brooklyn pizza at L&B Spumoni Gardens, and it's going to be a great day, man. If you're anywhere in the area, you really want to consider doing that. Everybody's welcome. It's not like an organized thing. We're just meeting there and we're doing it. We'll take pictures. We'll have a good time. So you're all invited to the Coney Island Cyclone, September 10th at 11 a.m.
Very cool. I wish I could make it. Wish I could.
I know,
I'm
man.
unfortunately working.
Yeah, same.
I wish you guys could be there. Matt was the crown jewel for me last year. It was like, I had a great time, but being able to
that was so fun.
Me, yeah, and that was us meeting. Like we never really met before. That was so great.
I got a big Green Bean hug. It was the highlight of the year. Just tremendous.
Totally, I felt the same way.
Main Jets fan says first at Jets home game for me. Jets Pats at home. First at this year is what you're saying. Jets Pats at home. This year is your first home game. Cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. That's going to be the Halloween Eve game. Maybe we'll have Mac Jones seeing ghosts.
That we need that to come full circle.
I really want that to happen. I hope because McDaniels is not there. I hope he's just so bad, and I'm just like I'm praying for it. I've been hoping for the downfall of the Patriots for 30 years or however long it's been, 25 years. It feels like it's been forever. And every year we think, they're ripe for slaughter. And then they go and they win 10 games. And it's like, really? Rookie quarterback throws 3 yards or whatever it is. What was it? Was it 3 passes or 3 yards?
3.
I don't remember.
Hang on. I'm going to look now because that's going to bother me.
I think it was 3. Yeah, dude, that was
definitely
ridiculous.
3 passes. What's your... I'm going to say 9 yards. I don't know why that number is.
I think it was sub double digits. I'm almost positive. It was a really goofy stat line.
19. 2 of 3 for 19 3. Yards.
God damn it. The fact they can win with that kind of stat line is so depressing.
It's so annoying. It really is.
Super frustrating.
Dude, can we just for a second, like we got a few more minutes here and we're together. Yeah. There's almost 600 of us in here together. Can we just imagine for a minute if this is the year that the Jets start to turn it around? This is the year. We've been hanging out together for years. We've had some of the most miserable Jet seasons in our history together. Can this be it? Right? Like, dude, look at the talent on this roster. And it's young talent. We could conceivably have these guys for the next 5 to 10 years, a lot of them. And it's like, dude, I mean, the job is done. Like, we have enough talent to compete in the NFL. Why not this year, man? Like, this could be it, guys. We could be on the precipice of the big turnaround. Could you imagine being able to talk about wins together? Holy
Dude, that would be fantastic. I haven't been able to talk about wins on a football forum in the longest time. Like whether it be like video like this or like, because I mean 2015, I don't even think I was definitely not a part of Jet Nation yet. I was still over on Football's Future. Like, jeez, that was still probably their old
long
layout.
time.
Dude, ancient. Feeling old.
I got on Jet Nation in 2009. I was over at the greenhouse and shit before that. But yeah, I got to do, it was fun, man. 2009, 2010. And I was a member of the South Florida Jets fan club. So I was meeting with, 200 Jets fans at this huge place. And well, what fun years. I can't believe it's been basically nothing since then. Unbelievable. Jesus.
It'll happen. It'll happen. We're almost there. Eric comes in saying, flying out from LA on Thursday. Can't wait for my first home game. Praying for a W. Hoping we don't get blown out. Hope to see y'all there. We'll be in Lot D. We'll be hanging out over there. So, swing by. It's going to be fun. Brian drops in again. Brian says, the pig is ripe for the slaughter is a classic Jets Nation-ism. That was Green Jets and Ham's Opus post. I did not know that. I knew it was the pig's ripe for slaughter is like nonstop. It's like every year I see that posted, and I'm just like, okay, maybe this is it. Tom Brady's no longer on the Patriots. Oh wait, they got Cam Newton, and like things are like kind of ish all right. And then it's like, oh, they got Mac Jones, and they win a bunch of games. It's like, come on, one time, just one time. I just want a bunch of interceptions.
Zach Wilson has to be a damn NFL quarterback. It doesn't have to be, Tom Brady. Can we just get an NFL level quarterback? Can we just have that average?
Dude, that's just it. Like, I almost don't even want to care about the Patriots or any other team. Like, I just want to focus on us. Like, let's just get it right. If you get the quarterback right, the rest of the pieces are going to fall into place. Like, we have so much talent on this team to like just waste it is just, it's so frustrating. At least it's young. This feels like at least if we do get the quarterback right, like this is sustained success potentially right here. But it all hinges on Zach and the coaching staff. It gives me heartburn. I don't know. Stud City says, if the Jets can't make the in the hunt picture on the screen, they must really suck because you can make that screen with a losing record. Yeah, especially if they start doing it early. Start doing it around Thanksgiving. Kind of nice.
Like Joe S said in the chat, can we just not be talking draft at Halloween? Can we just
that's really it. Yep. The worst is when I see that first mock draft come out by like one of the beat writers and I'm like, oh, now I got to talk about it. Like it's already there. Not that I wasn't thinking about it, but man, it sucks.
Dude, here's how it's going to go. They're going to kick off to us. We're going to receive the ball. We're going to get a nice return to like our own 47-yard line. We're going to use the tight ends, a little bit of Breece Hall, and then it's going to be a touchdown to Elijah Moore in the corner of the end zone. And that's the way it's going to start. It's going to be a 7-minute drive, even being from the 48. We know how to do it. 6:44. That's what it's going to be. You heard it. That's what's going to happen. Then it's going to be a 3-and-out from RD with a sack. That's the way it's going to go.
Dude, just start it fast. I almost want to, like, would you, if you win the coin toss, do you defer to the second half and just try to let the defense, or do you want to try and set the tone and get the offense going first?
I'm not giving them the ball.
Nope.
I say give me the
I'm
ball.
with Matt.
Control the clock.
Now,
Just
maybe
start it
some
off that way.
teams, right? Maybe some teams you want to do. No, dude, you got to keep them off the field. So that starts with the coin toss. Receive. Let's set the pace.
I don't know what I would do. I love getting the ball after halftime because it's like, okay, let's reset. Let's gather our thoughts and come back out, and we get the ball first. Because my worst fear is like we get the ball first, and then you go 3 and out. You're like, no, now we got to give the ball back to them.
That way.
I don't want to think that way.
You're playing not to lose, which is that's scary. You got to play to win.
Bad. I know. I don't know. I get sad. I'm so pessimistic because of everything that's happened. I want to be optimistic. That's what I want to have happen. And I'll be optimistic for the first game. And then it'll all hinge depending on what happens at the first game. If we come out, we get kicked in the jaw, and okay, I'll be a little more pessimistic. If we come out, we play at least competitively, and we're hanging around Baltimore all game long, it's going to make me feel good. I'm going to start beating my chest for the Browns game.
Ready? I'll do one better. Green Bean had a good prediction, but I'm going to do you one better. They are going to the Jets are going to receive touchback on the opening kickoff. No Braxton Berrios return. First play flea flicker, and they're going to take a deep shot to Elijah Moore.
Dude, I
love
the flea flicker.
Not, for a big gain, but not a touchdown.
Dude, when they did that with Sanchez with his first pass, I don't remember if it was regular season or if that was like his first preseason pass, but I remember them doing the flea flicker like early on. It didn't hit. Like I think they wound up, he missed his mark, but I love the flea flicker. It's so fun. Maybe you can catch like Kyle Hamilton flat foot, like he's too excited to stop Breece Hall, and then you're just like, oh yeah.
Oh my God! Wait, it would be so much better for the brand if it was Garrett Wilson over Kyle Hamilton. That would be tremendous.
Man, Breece Hall flips it back to Zach Wilson, or not Zach Wilson, maybe Zach Wilson, maybe Joe Flacco. Either one.
So good.
Doesn't matter.
Here's what I want. I don't have it in me. Like I see people like they're in the chat and they're saying, hey, like they're trying to bring us down. Like, no, dude. I don't have it in me not to be positive going into week 1. Like the rest of the season, we could be a shit show. Week 1, after this offseason, like, can we just go into week 1 can we have 1 week of fun? Can we just believe, for God's sakes? Like, why
we had like 5 or 6 hours of fun, and then the game started.
It was so fun.
The tailgate was the best part of last year. Hopefully we just get a good game. And a win.
Socrates Johnson is accusing me of being low-key pissed if Hamilton got burnt. Socrates, you haven't been hanging out with me.
No.
I hate Kyle Hamilton.
He's a jerk. He's not on our team. We know how Green Bean thinks. Right. The minute that guy's off our team or not potentially on our team.
Yeah.
Done.
I would like nothing more than the Jets to literally make him the reason that they lose. That would make me so happy.
He's ugly and his mom dresses him funny.
That's right. All those things. Socrates.
Matt says, my Jets wish list for the season. Zach gets better. Defense dominates. Tyreek Hill gets lit up by Jordan Whitehead. I really hope Tua just is awful and Tyreek Hill is just like a shell of his former self. That would make me really happy. All right, we're towards the end of our show. So, Green Bean, you got your whole list over there. Matt, I'm going to have you go over to the Twitter sphere and see how many people retweeted the stream.
We're at 19. And one quote tweet.
Cool. I should say quote tweet. I like reading the quote tweets. It's always fun. That's all right. You know what, Matt? Pick the guy that quote tweeted it, and then 4 more. We'll do that.
Are you guys ready for him?
Green Bean, you ready?
Oh, yeah. Shit. Yep. I appreciate you asking because I was in another world. Go ahead.
Okay. First up with the quote tweet is our guy, Sam.
Sam. Got it.
Okay.
Imagine if Sam Darnold wins a MILF shirt. Man.
That'd be ironic. Let's go Carlos Marquez.
Got it.
Drillo, Drillo.
Got him.
I'm trying to change it up. Mike Lando. I don't ever really remember putting him in one.
Lando.
Yeah, Lando. And then we'll go Knobcraft.
Ooh.
Nice. There he is.
We saw
Good
him
old
in here before.
Knobcraft.
Where'd that little notepad go? Ah, there it goes. There we go. All right. Got a little bit of odds and evens going. 3, 2, 1.
Almost forgot
That's
to
an
put the
even.
number up.
That's a 6.
That's a 6. All right, Finnegan, you're out, buddy.
Oh, no.
Finnegan begin again.
Randilla, you're out. Oh, shit. What the hell just happened? Oh, there it is. Jesus. Sorry. Raw Power, you're out. Jingle Dubs, you're out. D. Santana, you're out. Jay is out. Carlos Marquez is out. Mike Lando, you're gone. That's it. Let's go.
All right. 3, 2, 1. 6, 7, 8. That's an even.
All right. Sports Frenzy, you are out. Michael Murphy, sorry. Sam is out.
Gone.
Drillo is out.
Oh, no.
That's it. Everybody else is in. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5.
All right. So we got at least, was that 2 more maybe? 3, 2, 1. That's 4.
So Mad Money 1966, you're out. TJ Decker is out. That's
All right.
it.
So we got 3 left, right?
We got 3. Yep.
All right, chat. Throw up a number plus whatever we throw up. 3, 2, 1. That's a 9. 9 plus 7 is a 16. That's an even. So we got to go one more time, right?
Yeah. SGTVO, you're gone. Now it's
All right.
Everaldo De Jesus versus Knobcraft head to head in a battle for the ages.
Ooh, Knobcraft. Throw up another number. I see your 2, but throw up another number. It'll be that number plus whatever you throw up. 3, 2, 1. We got a 9. Let's see what he's got.
Did you do 2 again?
Come on, Knob. 9 and 5. It's 14.
So that's even? Is that what it is? Are we done?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Is that right?
It's even. Okay. Knobcraft, you're out. It's Everaldo De Jesus. Sorry, buddy. Got to do this honestly, right? You got to do it. Right.
Who's our winner tonight?
Everaldo De Jesus. He was here earlier, at least. I don't know if he's still here. Everaldo, you win. Let's check. He's here.
There we go.
Are the winner.
I love that.
Contact Ryan. Yeah, he's here. There he is. Everaldo, you're the winner, buddy.
Good
Congrats.
stuff, dude. Reach
Sorry,
out to me on Twitter. That's where we'll go. Go meet me on Twitter, and then we'll send me a DM over there. I'll get your info. But guys, we are at the end of our show. So let's go around our panel, give our closing thoughts. Green Bean, talk to me.
Yep, I'm in a good mood. Stop believing the negative energy, everybody. Believe we're going to win, like Ted Lasso says. Tomorrow morning is the release of this week's Green Beans Jets pod, and I tell you the truth of what's going to happen this week. The truth. Check it out.
Mr. Matthew O'Leary.
So today was a little bit of a monument clearing one for me. I hit 1,000 videos on YouTube, so just wanted to thank everyone for following along. Really means a lot, and I love that I get to hang out with you two every Tuesday. We'll see you all at the Jets game on Sunday. Let's freaking go.
All right, boys and girls, thank you so much for flying with us tonight. Those of you in the Fantasy Football League, we are going live draft 10-15. Not live via video, but live draft that we're drafting for in the league. So it's been fun. I look forward to seeing you guys Sunday at the game. But this is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.